Hello friends, 703 days over. Situation in southern war zone in Ukraine. On Kherson front, Krinky holds, though it has further shrunk in its operational area as well as its ability to carry out offensive operation and expand itself. Now main battle is through drones and long range artilleries where Ukrainians have an upper hand. This is despite the claim by the Russians that they have shot down or suppressed Ukrainian drones of various kinds of UAVs, FPVs. However, Ukrainians too are using electronic counter warfare. On Zaporizhia front in Orikhiv sector, the uses of UAVs are increased quite a lot from both the sides. Soldiers at front from Russian army report that Ukrainians are not running short of ammunitions. The story that supply of ammunitions to Ukrainian forces for various reasons are likely to give overconfidence to Russian military leaders. No changes towards Robotyno-Verbo direction, neither any changes in Rimivki salient. In north, in Kupiansk-Synkivka sector, Ukrainians have retreated partially within the village which has become grey zone. Klishivka, Russians have reached the outskirts. In Kreminaya sector near Belgorovka, Russians' offensive operation continuing. Similar is the situation in Liman towards Makivka where Russians have reached the outskirts. Coming to east, north of Soledar Sivesk sector, positional battle taking place on Bakhmut front. In Bagdonovka, Russian army withdrew from central establishment but still holds northeast, and on the outskirts both north and south it advanced towards Klishivka too. Russian army made gains in north of it. In Avdiivka, Ukrainian army is trying to regain its lost position in southern part, that is towards Zarskaya Okota region. However, no changes. On its outskirts, Russians have made some marginal gains. In North Avdiivka, as reported by the Ukrainian channels, Russians made some tactical gains where they advanced almost 200 meters in Stepo and 200 meters in southern Stepo. Russians also made some gains towards west of Kaminka and towards Pirvomaisky. On Marinka front, Russians advanced north of Georgievka outskirts and fight is advancing towards Kurakho. Towards Novomykhailivka, Russians advanced 200 meters southwest and 150 meters in north. On interdiction missions, Ukrainians have been hitting Belgorod-Kursk DPR. Explosions were reported in Leningrad. The details are not known. Russians are continuing as before. Palestine, Israel, Middle East. The IDF has made some gains towards west and southwest of Khan Yunis, otherwise no changes. International Court of Justice has given its historical verdict against Israel, where Putin has said that they are not going to obey it. The important part of ICJ verdict are 6 orders which says Israel must stop genocide while abiding with Geneva Convention. It must allow humanitarian aids and must not destroy any evidence of genocide. Israel must punish those who wanted to create genocide or have participated in it. Lastly, Israel must report back to ICJ within a month on its compliance. Algeria said that it is going to request United Nations for the implementation of ICJ verdict and orders. Israel's request to delete genocide was refused by 15:2 out of 17 judges, while rest of the verdicts were approved by 16:1. And Algeria has said that it is going to request United Nations to implement ICJ's verdict and orders. In the meantime, Houthis have attacked British oil tanker at Gulf of Aden and have caused huge damage to it. In the meantime, huge protests are taking place, like in Vienna, Austria, against the rise of right-wing activities. In France, more than 72,000 farmers, along with their tractors, demonstrated. In the meantime, an interesting event is developing between US and Texas, where Texas National Guard expelled American border guard, closed Mexico border. Biden had given 24 hours ultimatum to comply with the US Supreme Court ruling and hand over the border patrol posts to federal government, that is American government, which has been already overlooked by the Texas governor. Nothing much going to happen though. There is escalation of verbal warfare between Republican and the Democrats for the forthcoming election, and people are going to be hoodwinked. That is all for the day, friends. See you tomorrow. Thank you.